I'm going crazy conspiracy theory right now, but I know that some other people that have left the group also feel this way. I think that in the order, they do contracts with the other dad. So I think the fathers actually talk to each other and say, okay, my daughters are going to marry your sons, you know, and I'm going to give you this amount of money, or I'm going to have you work for this business, or I'm going to set you off somehow financially. Like, I had no reason to live. I wanted to die because my life was just working, coming home, getting raped, going back to work. Sometimes I'll have fun with my family, but like other than that, it was just, and I knew I didn't want to be there. Mind you, I paid for half of my wedding ring. We went to the pawn shop to go get my wedding ring, and I had to pay for half of it because he didn't want to pay for the whole thing.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Jaden Jeffs Podcast. Today I have Jana Johnson with me, who is from the Kingston Group. Jana, do you want to introduce yourself and tell anybody anything you want them to know about
it? I left the Kingston Group. I was born there. And then I left when I was 18. At 18, when I was 18 years old. And I've been out for about 4 years. Going to college now, have a dog. Just kind of living.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Bailey.
Bailey.
She's the cutest thing ever. I thought instead of a child, I'll get a dog and it'll kind of give me the same feelings, you know? But we're just two girls coming at the world. That's about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when Jana walked in, we were talking, and she says, "Did you know I was Catherine's sister wife?" And I was like, "What? That's crazy." And so everybody that's watching this probably has watched Catherine's. So yeah, you were Catherine's husband's first wife, right?
Mm-hmm. She was the third, I was the first.
Okay.
So.
And is the second one still there?
Yeah, the second one's still in.
One faithful one. I'm sure he's got more, but.
No, probably. Who knows? But I hope not.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your childhood and the things you liked and the things you didn't like. Both your personal experiences and just the group in general. Mm-hmm. How many mothers did you have? Your dad?
Yeah.
How many wives did he have? And how many children did your mother have?
So my dad had 5 wives. Okay. My mom had 13, and I'm the 12th of 13.
Oh, are you?
So I'm the very last girl, and then there's one boy beneath me. So growing up, we didn't have a lot of kids in the house. It was just kind of the last few. I remember being, like, by the time I turned 8 was, at that point, like, the sister that was older than me, she was 7 years older than me. So I was a girl in between 4 boys. Okay. And so I grew up kind of, like, with the boys. Uh-huh. And she got married, I think, when I was 8 years old. So she was out of the house by the time before I even started junior high. And so I really liked my childhood. I wasn't exposed to a lot of like the craziness that some of the young girls go through in the order. As far as like being told, you know, who to marry and what to do with, you know, being as a mother at some point. But
so where was Kent in the lineup? Because you're just so people know, we did Kent's podcast earlier, and Kent is her brother.
Yeah, he's the 5th. Yeah, Kent was the 5th. I'm the 12th child. My dad had 50 total, but we were a pretty small family.
Yeah. But it's still an insane amount of kids.
It's right? A lot. Like,
do you know your other siblings outside of your mother's?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
So my family was small enough to where we all knew each other. I don't know like what order, but I know all their names. I know their kids. You know, I know. Hell, I grew up memorizing their phone numbers. Like we were that tight knit of a family, which was kind of abnormal in the order. Our family was really close to the other mother's kids.
Huh. Yeah. So did they all have separate houses?
Yeah.
Were
Yeah.
your houses pretty nice, or? I watched that show, Escaping Polygamy.
It was never bad. It was kind of like the bottom of middle class, I would say.
Okay.
But it was never poverty level for any of my family. My dad kind of took care of us enough, at least, or my mom's, or the mothers in the family. They always made sure we had what we needed.
Did two mothers ever live in the same house?
Yes.
Oh, they did.
So that happened. The last wife, she had some mental problems. So she, I think she lived with one of the other wives for a minute while she was going through that. Which I don't know if other families would have taken in, you know, a wife like that.
Yeah.
So
when you're 8 years old in the order, are you thinking about marriage already, or have they not really talked about it?
Oh yeah, they talked about it, and by the time I was 8 years old, I knew who I was supposed to marry.
Really?
Like I knew just by connecting the dots and seeing patterns within my family. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna marry this guy, and I already know it's gonna happen. Like there's really no other option for me. And I actually kind of liked it. I kind of liked knowing, you know, and not having to worry about finding the person. It was like, oh, I already know, so I'm good. Like I don't have to worry about this ever again.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I knew was because all of my older sisters, I had 6 older sisters, they all married sons from the first wife of the leader. So Paul and Patty Kingston, they all married Patty's sons. And so I was like, obviously, I'm going to marry one of Patty's sons. Like, obviously, because that's what my sisters are doing. And there's a boy that's my age, or like a year older than me. So it's got to be him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just my pattern recognition, just full effect right now. So
that's crazy. At 8 years old, you already knew that.
Yeah, because in church, Sunday school lessons, they would, you know, it's important to start thinking about this, and learning how to be a good wife.
Wow.
So
That's wild. Yeah, I would say that's a difference between the FLDSs. I don't think they really talk about marriage until you're like 12, and for the boys, not until they're quite a bit older, but...
I think for the boys in the order, it seems like they don't really talk about it until, you know. The only reason why I say that is because the guy that I married, he didn't know. He didn't even start thinking about me until his mom told him to start thinking about me, like as a person to marry. And so I was like, this is crazy that you didn't know, but I've known since I was 8 years old. Like he didn't know till he was 17. And now it kind of breaks my heart because you haven't, like, you know, dreamed about me like I dreamed about you. You know, I was like just young and in love with this person I've never ever talked to in my life.
But you looked up to him as the prophet's son or something?
Yes, but it was more like I was so in love with the idea of being a wife and being married and having the freedoms that a woman who's married gets.
So that's kind of what you were sold.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about that now?
Now I'm like, I don't know why I even had to wait till marriage to do that. Like to get a car, to get a phone, like to go to college.
Okay, so those are the things that you were wanting.
Yes.
You felt like you needed to be married to get a... In
order to like get out of my mom's house, find my own place, live on my own, I had to be married first.
I see. What were some more significant things that you remember from your childhood that happened in the order Like from the time you were 8 till the time you were, teenager or even in your young teens?
That's a really hard question.
I know. It's like normal life going on, but like other people are leaving, right? Because you were telling me you were just a really good kid.
Yeah.
So you weren't thinking about leaving,
I
right?
wasn't thinking about leaving. No, I thought that if you left, like you were just going to die, like it's scary out there.
Do you remember people leaving?
I
or hearing about it?
Yeah. So one of my older brothers, not Kent, but another one, left, and he was the first person in my dad's family to leave. And I think I was like between the ages of 8 and 12 when that happened. I don't quite remember, but I remember he just wasn't at home anymore. And I didn't ever, as a kid, they didn't tell me why, like where he went or what happened. He was just gone. And he lived at my mom's house, so I was living with him, and then one day he just never came back home, and I was like, where'd he go?
How do you feel about your dad?
That's also a really hard question. I loved my dad growing up. He was my hero, my Superman, everything. Like I wanted my husband to be like my dad, and embody the same traits that my dad had, which is how they condition you as a young girl in the order, like you are your dad's property until you're now your husband's property type of thing. And so I always thought like I thought my dad was going to be president one day because he was that great,
Yeah.
He was like a superhero type of thing. My dad was very different with his sons versus his daughters.
Interesting.
His sons would see kind of more like the controlling and scary side of my dad versus his girls were like, we saw the best of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about him today?
Today, I think he's done a lot of really unethical and manipulative things, not only to me, but to the rest of his family. And
Getting them married and...
Yeah, I don't think I think he's lost.
Okay.
I don't think he's, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a hard topic.
Do you see him as a true believer?
No.
You don't?
I don't.
Really?
I see him as someone who is trapped.
So you think that he would leave if he had the ability to?
I think that if certain things went a different way when he was younger, he would not be in the order today. I think he would, be very different if he didn't get a second wife or a third wife. I think if it was just him and my mom, because my mom was the first wife. And from what I've heard, it sounds like they were very in love, which is pretty rare, to fall in love with someone before you marry them. But that happened to them, and I think that if my dad wasn't forced to get another wife by his father, he probably would have left with my mom. And of course, I wouldn't have been born, but is that such a bad thing? Like, you guys go be fun.
Well, how do you feel about your mother during those younger years and now?
So my mom was kind of the bad guy growing up.
Really?
My dad was the holy savior. Like when he would come over once a week, it was like, oh, hi, Dad. Like the house is clean for you. And like, here are my grades and here's how I've been doing. My mom, she was the disciplinarian. Like she really took care of us on her own. And so she had it really hard.
Did you know Catherine growing
Yes.
up? Personally, you knew her?
My sister?
No, Catherine.
Oh.
The one that we had on
Nichols.
the podcast. Yeah.
Yes. No, I didn't know her till Daniel brought her up as like a possible choice in marriage.
Okay. So you kind of have a pretty okay childhood, and then when do you start hearing that it's time to get married?
The weirdest part is when I was young, like 12, was when the first time I came to my dad with like a little note that was like, I think I know who I'm going to marry.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had been telling my dad ever since I was this just child that like this is going to happen. And by the time I was 15 years old, I got this little iPod Touch that didn't have service. You know, you couldn't text people, but you had internet access. There was other things to focus on besides getting married. And I started exploring the world outside of what I knew it to be. And
does that look like watching videos or?
Yeah, just like YouTube and music. And at one point I started somehow finding like, you know, friends online, and like I would talk to outsiders, and like I would be in like these, you know, conversations with people on the outside, and just to observe outsiders and see how they acted. Like it was so fascinating to me. And by this time, I stopped thinking about marriage so much, and I stopped thinking about, you know, it wasn't the center of my attention. And when I thought about my future, of course I would be married, but it wasn't like that was the only thing to look forward to anymore.
So you gained a little bit more of your freedom to some degree.
To some
online,
degree, yes.
But your parents didn't really know about that.
They didn't know.
So
no.
So you gave your note to your dad when you were 12 years old, mm-hmm. and then you kind of go through this phase of forgetting about it.
Yeah.
And then did your dad start bringing it up, or do you start bringing it up?
Yeah, and so I stopped bringing it up, and the only times that I would was when I knew they wanted me to. You know, like my dad would pull me aside, and when I was probably 13, 14, and say, so have you thought about like who do you think you're going to marry? Or like, you know, going to the order dances, that's kind of how you socialize with other men. And he says, I want to see your dance cards and who's asking you to dance. And I would share all that, but I started kind of losing interest in the whole idea. Because first of all, I knew what was going to happen. So I'm like, none of this even matters. Like, don't even make it seem like I have a choice in this, because I don't really. And I just want to do what you want me to do. Because if this version of me that you're seeing, Dad, is doing all the right things, then I can have a whole nother side of me that you'll never see, that can do everything that I really want to do. And so I was really good at masking and only showing people the side of me that I wanted them to see, and it was really manipulative.
Do you think your dad knew that?
He's got to, because as a child, how good can you get at that? You know, like, it's obvious, but I got away with it for so long, you know.
I feel like polygamous children are pretty good at that.
Really good.
Yeah.
Like, and especially because when you're born, you have to, like, notice your parents. You have to be hyper focused on how are they feeling today? What's the mood like at dinner today? So that I don't say the wrong thing, or else I'm going to get in trouble and I'm going to get, you know.
Right, and you're navigating that with all your siblings
yes.
too. Like, what can I do to keep them happy?
Yes.
In all these different situations.
Yes, and so you become very aware.
So you told me you were kind of the golden girl, but you kind of also knew that. Was it more of an appearance of that? You always wanted to have that appearance.
Yeah, I did.
To your dad and everybody in the community.
I didn't want them to worry about me. You know, I didn't want to be another point of contention. I didn't want that eye on me. So I tried to keep the attention away from me as much as possible. And the best way I could do that was to do everything that they wanted me to do. They being my parents.
Yeah.
And so I got good grades.
And so that's how you learn to manipulate.
Yes. Okay, this is not the picture I want to paint.
Oh, I know.
Right
Okay, but
how I survived, okay?
I know. I think it's funny because dad's kids are so good at manipulating people.
It's a thing. Everyone in the order does it. And we all have this other side of us that knows that, that of who we truly are. But at some point, there's just some sides of you that you just can't mix. And you know that. And everyone else knows that. And the only time that it comes out is with other order people or other people in these groups that know, that also have a side to them. That's like rebellious, and it'll come out in those late night talks with people. And when you stay at a party, till 2-3 in the morning, those talks will start happening. But other than that, you just have to save face.
Yeah. Okay. So just so everybody knows, Jana is not manipulative.
I am not manipulative to any of my boyfriends or future, whatever watching.
Uh-huh. Yeah. She is not manipulative at all.
I'm a good child.
Yeah, neither am I. Not at all. She's still the golden girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, and she loves wine. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
I am totally kidding, guys.
I do really like this. He picked some good wine today.
Yeah. Before we started, she's like, I don't know if I want to see people seeing me gulp wine. I'm like, they're going to see me gulping wine.
I'm going to try and drink a little bit more of this before it starts so that they don't think I'm drinking a ton of wine. Even though I am, I'm not an alcoholic. Well, yes, I drink. Sorry, Mom.
Not too much though, right?
No, God,
yeah,
no.
I know.
I've never gotten shit-faced before. I'm a good child.
Yeah. Okay. So
I was chronically online.
But you didn't tell anybody about it?
No, okay. No one knew.
Yeah.
No, this was my secret.
And you didn't feel guilty about it or anything?
Oh, God, yeah,
I did.
I did. I felt so guilty, but it was bringing me so much happiness and so many different experiences that I was like, this is worth it because I'm learning so much about the world.
Okay. Yeah. So when does your dad start bringing up? Seriously, it's getting close to time.
Yeah, I was 15 when that happened. So the minute I turned 15, he was like, okay, it's coming. I've already done this with 6 other of your sisters, so let's just wrap this up, okay? And so he knew that I knew, and so at that point, I was like, okay, I guess so. But at this point, I was in high school. And I had skipped 7th grade and went into 8th grade. And the reason why that's important is because now I was in his classes.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay.
And that really started to bring to light so many things I didn't even think of before. I realized that he was kind of slow.
Mentally
and just, I was in this is so...
Yeah, you skipped a grade.
Rude, right, but I was this star, I was good at things in school, and that just wasn't something that was very important to him. And the one time I was in a class with him, I got to really actually see him as a human and as a person instead of this idol.
Yeah, this idea of
of a man that I wanted.
Yeah.
And he was not adding up to be that person.
So did you start falling out of love?
I did. Yeah, I started the image of him that I had created because I didn't know him. I'm like, man, that was not true. So I was 15 and my dad, I went into a meeting with my dad and I tell my dad, I'm like, yes, I know it's Daniel, but I don't want to get engaged. Not yet. And he goes, okay, well, let's give it some time. And then probably a month later, my sister comes up to me and she's like, you're really going to wait? Why are you going to wait? That's stupid.
Is it your older sister?
Yeah. And being the first wife, you get married at 16. But if you're if you're the second or third or fourth wife, you have to wait till you're 18. And so, because legally,
Yeah.
And
so why do they want you to get married at 16? Because it seems like a lot of the girls, they want to get married at 16. My dad was also this way. He wanted the girls to get married as young as they could. He usually pushed the boys out to 18, 21, 22, but he wanted the girls to get married young.
Yeah. So you can have more kids.
You think that's why?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because if you're having a kid every year, and by the time you're 40 is when like your body kind of says, okay, you're done. You only have 22 years to have kids. And so if you're a good order wife, you can have a kid every year, you know? And then that'll give the order enough kids to where you've brought all of the kids down from heaven that you need to. But no, I don't know why 16 is the mark. Like,
I wonder if a lot of the girls start rebelling after like
that could
18
be it.
to 21. You let them get that old.
Yeah.
I wonder if something's going on with their bodies or something.
Don't you start driving at 16 too?
Yeah. You can get a learner's at 16.
Because I think legally is when they start kind of seeing you more as like having freedom.
Yeah.
Freedoms so maybe that could be it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's keep going on your story. Your dad's kind of pushing you on this. You're kind of resistant.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready to be a wife. I think I have so many things to do. I think, things to learn. She tells me this story about how, because she wasn't the first wife, she had to wait till she was 18. And those were like those 2 years between being 16 and 18 were the hardest years of her life, because she had to watch him get married 4 times over those 2 years. And so there was this thing put on this first wife about how, like, almost like we're better than the other wives because we're the first. And I'm like, why does it matter if I'm the first wife? But by this time, he had already come forward on me, which just means he asked me to marry him at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And so by the time...
How old is he?
He was 17.
Okay. It's interesting to me that you didn't see like a lot of value in being the first wife. I grew up hearing so many stories from different people about wanting to be the first wife and then like getting over it after a while and becoming a polygamous 50th wife or whatever. But I find it funny that you were kind of like, well, I didn't want to bother. I didn't care.
I didn't care because why does it matter? Doesn't he, I mean, I didn't understand the dynamic. I mean, growing up, I was always like thinking that my mom was the favorite because she was the first wife. Uh-huh. And so I think that my mom kind of, I mean, that's just kind of what we thought. And I'm like, I'm the first wife's kid. Suck on that. I mean, but you're your dad's. Your mom wasn't the first wife, was
no,
it? Okay. Fifth wife.
Yeah.
But out of what? 80?
Yes.
Like
it's
literally
not too
80. So you're pretty good.
Yeah.
At least you maybe, but you didn't ever see your dad, right?
Rarely.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Like once a year.
Yeah. Well, probably a little more than that in my early life, but then he went to jail. So after that, once every couple of years.
What age were you when he went to jail?
8.
Wow.
Because he baptized me like a month before he went to prison. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So he was gone your whole life.
Yeah, my whole older life, but he was still in control, right?
Yeah.
But like even in our fam, the first wife's kids, Dad really pushed to get back against this, but no matter what anybody says, it was just kind of true that they were kind of a little bit more favorite.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was obvious in our group too. Like the leaders' first wives' sons, everyone kind of knew. They would always deny it, but everyone, it was just kind of a thing.
It seems like your family kind of was favorited in the sense that all the girls married the first wife's kids.
And you'd
of the
think
leader.
that. Yeah, you'd think that too, because somehow my family was in a position to where, like, and I really think that my dad somehow put himself in a position where, okay, I'm going crazy conspiracy theory right now, but I know that some other people that have left the group also feel this way. I think that in the order, they do contracts with the other dads. So I think the fathers actually talk to each other and say, okay, my daughters are going to marry your sons, you know, and I'm going to give you this amount of money, or I'm going to have you work for this business, or I'm going to set you off somehow financially to where I'm going to sell my daughters to you in exchange for this business opportunity or this position of power within the group. I really think that my dad, maybe it wasn't a verbal contract, but it was implied that my dad would get a higher position in the church as long as his daughters married the leader's sons.
So you don't think they got together and said this? But
I don't think so, because that would be weird. And I feel like if they did, we would have heard about the meeting at some point. You know, it would have trickled down.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
this is true. If a man didn't let his daughter marry my dad when my dad wanted that man to let his daughter marry him, that man's family was going to be taken away.
Yes.
And he, like, for some other reason,
Yes.
but essentially for not obeying God.
Yes.
So, absolutely, in the sense that those men were getting things back and forth, business opportunities,
Yes.
other things for letting you guys marry his sons and things like that. 100%. That is how. That's how power works, whether you're in that cult or a different one.
And whether it's said verbally or not, that's what's happening. You know, you don't have to say it to really notice the things that are going on. It doesn't have to be spoken out loud. But like any someone who's never, what am I trying to say? A complete outsider who has no bias against the order, if they come in and look at the structure and how women are sent out, it'd be like, obviously you got this position because of where, you know, of who your daughter's married into. So my dad, we all married the first wives, Patty Kingston sons. And so they were really pushing me to get to be his first wife, and because all my sisters were the first wife, you know. And so
the other thing I'll say about it, though, is they do the business opportunities and everything with it.
Yeah.
But the instant that you start recognizing it, they start bringing up morality.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Or God.
Right. It's like,
yes.
It's like God wants you to do this. This is not us wanting your daughters or anything like that. This is a moral principle. This is you standing loyal.
Yes.
That's the conversation. The instant somebody objects, right? It's never, you give me your daughter.
And you can't argue with that.
Right.
It's like, it's the end of the line. You can't go past what God has told you to do.
Yeah.
And it's like this, there's something, somehow, there's a word for it. Anyway, I don't remember what it's called.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, it's definitely, it's like just control. And
Yeah,
I think maybe at the beginning of these groups, it started out something authentic.
Sure.
But over time, power corrupts everybody.
Yeah,
Anybody.
even the people that believe they're
Exactly.
doing it for moral reasons.
Well, and you think of the start of the United States, they put measures in place to stop any one person from gaining too much power, right? And there's things to rely on, but when you have a system where that isn't the case, of course they're going to start doing awful, terrible things to these people that they aren't very close to, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the absolute power somebody like my
Yes.
dad had, or the leader of the order. those people have more power over the people's minds that are right there with them.
Yes.
Than anybody in the U.S. has. Like the president
Absolutely.
doesn't have that kind of power.
Well,
over
the fact that I saw my dad being president one day, that tells you how I saw my father. Now imagine how I see the leader of the order.
You're saying president of the U.S.?
The U.S. President of the...
Okay.
What did I say?
President of the order? Or?
Oh, no, the president of the United States.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, but like, I saw my dad, and then anyone above my dad is like God tier. You know, like if we were to lay it out, it was all of us peasants, me included, and then my dad, and then the leader. Oh my God, that's like God.
Yeah.
You know, like that's God himself.
Yeah, we looked at dad as way higher than the president.
Right, and if you ever were able to have a conversation with him, your whole week was great. Your month was great. It was like, yeah, I got to talk to the leader.
Yeah.
Like he gave me a hug. It's crazy.
I felt the power.
I know, just the spirit of love.
Yeah.
Overcame me. I had an orgasm right there. Just heaven.
Oh, yeah.
But the power that these men hold over these people is crazy. I think
that's a lot how people would describe me and my dad, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, so you're gonna get married. Keep on telling us this story.
So, so I'm 15. He comes forward on me about 6 months. I'm about 15 and a half. He
Is
comes
that an
forward.
order term?
Comes forward? Yes.
Sounds creepy.
I know, it's weird. But it was, I guess, I didn't even think of that until you pointed it out. But that's what they call it. So he took me out. He took me out on a date. But he took me to Cafe Rio. I couldn't eat Cafe Rio for like another 4 years after that. Anyways, I was kind of jealous that Catherine got to go to Wingers because that was a little bit of a nicer place.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you got taken to Wingers? I was eating burritos.
Oh, my God.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But
that's hilarious.
I was, the whole time, I just remember thinking, like, this guy's so weird. Like, what am I doing here? I kind of just want to go home. So you kind of lost love. Yeah, like, I've started, at this point, I've kind of seen him around school, and then now I'm finally talking to him face to face for the first time, and I'm like, yeah, he's not what I thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this image of this man who's going to take you to heaven and be your savior and like be everything you ever need and want. And he wasn't this guy for me. And so I saw that a lot during our Cafe Rio dinner. And then he takes me to the park by my house, and I thought I was going home. So I'm like, because I thought he was going to pop the question in Cafe Rio, but he didn't.
To marry you?
Yeah, to marry me. Because that's what happens on this first date, is usually they have to say...
Oh, because you got a bunch of permission from your parents.
Yes, because at this point, his father said yes, my mother said yes, and that allowed him to come talk to me one-on-one. And this is our first one-on-one ever. So I thought he was going to pop the question. 2 hours later, he still hasn't popped the question. I had actually, before this date, I had called my older sister, and I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen today. Like, he's taking me he's coming forward on me today. What do I say? Like, Mom and Dad didn't tell me anything. Am I supposed to say yes? Or like, do I say no? Or does this mean I'm getting engaged today? And they're like, well, technically you can't say yes until you talk to Brother Paul. So I was like, okay, so why is this even happening? And they're like, well, this is the point where he's just presenting himself as a choice for you. And then at the end of it, you get to choose who you're going to say yes to. But he has to come forward on you and tell you that he wants to be a choice. This man was my only choice. There was no one else that came forward on me. Nobody else came forward. Oh, Kent's calling me.
the wording
Yes.
is insane. Choice and
Right.
come forward on you.
And so she told me, she goes, here's what Dad told me to say when this came. She goes, Dad told me to say, thank you for coming forward on me. I appreciate you presenting yourself. And at this time, I need to talk to my parents first before I say yes. But I appreciate you coming forward on me. So I said that word for word to him. Like, he gets down on one knee. I don't even think he has a ring. But he just gets down on one knee and he goes, will you marry me? And I'm like in the middle of this park and it's about to rain. And I'm like, thank you for coming forward on me. I need to talk to my parents first. And so I'm like, and then not only that, but we have to drive home after that.
This looks like a good movie scene.
I know. We have to drive home. And that was the most awkward car ride in the world. He drops me off, waits for me to walk inside, and then leaves. And my mom's waiting for me at the door. And she goes, so how'd it go? And I'm like, you already know how it goes. Of course I didn't say yes. Like, I wasn't supposed to say yes. Was I? Was I supposed to say yes? And she goes, no, you weren't. That's just good. A few months later, I kind of left it on the shelf, like pretending it didn't happen because it was so weird. And then at that point, my sister comes to me and goes, why are you waiting? What's going on? Why haven't you told Dad you want to marry him yet? And I'm like, I don't really want to, whatever.
So your sister's been married for a while. Or
Yes,
something.
probably like 8-10 years. And so
She's
she
like-
goes, well, let's plan the engagement. And I'm like, okay, sure, you plan it. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't know how to do it, first of all. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to talk to the leader and whatever. So she plans it. I'm in this building. He comes and sees me with the rose, and there's like this big yes sign, and he's surprised that I'm saying yes. And then Brother Paul is there, my mom, my dad's there, my whole family's there, his whole family's there, to watch us get engaged. And so now we're engaged. And
Is it him just asking, will you marry me?
it was me saying yes. That's what it was.
But
Because he already asked.
he didn't need to ask again.
He didn't need to ask again. It was just me finally saying
So
yes.
you just said yes.
Yes.
Okay.
At that point, we have to set a date in the engagement meeting of when we want to get married. And Brother Paul asks me, and I'm like, well, I'm still 15, so I kind of want to wait till I'm 16 to get married. And so I'm like, okay, my birthday's January, we're getting engaged in October, so how about we have a 4-month-long engagement? I say, okay, let's do January 26th. A month later, I push it off to February, and then a month later, I push it off to March.
Really?
So I'm pushing the wedding back because I'm not ready. Because first of all, I'm paying for the wedding.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
What?
I'm paying for the wedding.
Why?
It's my job because apparently I was told that the wife pays for the wedding, the husband pays for the honeymoon. That's what I was told. And so I'm like, okay, I don't have...
No. The parents pay for the wedding. The husband pays for the honeymoon. That's how it usually is.
But I spent like a whole $2,000 on my wedding, like all of my savings. I started working when I was 14.
Well, oh, yeah.
So I had this $2,000 in my bank account
You
at that
had
point.
to pay for the wedding?
Yeah, like I paid for the decorations, I paid for the pictures, things like that,
My mind hurts.
Yeah. So,
What? That is so weird.
I mean, my mom chipped in here and there, of course, but I don't think my dad paid for anything.
Did your mom pay your house bill?
Like for growing up, I don't actually know. My parents were very closed door when they talk about finances.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what my mom and dad's finances were like.
Who decided that you were paying for the wedding?
I mean, it just fell on me, because no one else was gonna, besides me. It was just like, I'm the one planning it, so okay, I'm gonna put my bank account, okay. Like, who else? And I would talk to Daniel about it, and I'm like, so, are you paying for this? And he's like, well, no. Aren't you gonna do it? Mind you, I paid for half of my wedding ring. We went to the pawn shop to go get my wedding ring, and I had to pay for half of it because he didn't want to pay for the whole thing. So, like, I was already in this mode of, okay, if I want anything, it's because I have to pay for it myself. And so I'm planning this wedding. Mind you, I'm still in, like, 11th grade, which is what, junior year? Anyways, I guess the wedding, it just has to come. The wedding has to come. I had my wedding date set for March 1st. I had to wait because that was right before spring break, I think. And I had a lot of exams during that time. And so I had to push it out another week to get through my exams.
So who's deciding when this wedding is?
It's me. It's me. I'm deciding because I told everyone that, like, this has to work around my school. I'm in high school and I need to get good grades because that's the only metric that people will look at me and say, you're a good person because you have good grades. So that was more important to me than even getting married, and
I see.
Yeah, and so that was very important to me. So I'm like, okay, this wedding...
And so you're working also.
And I'm working. So I'm going to school all day. I'm going right to work, working for another 4 hours till 10 p.m., going home, doing homework, getting about 4 to 6 hours of sleep, waking up, going to school, like repeat for the next 6 months.
Wow.
And that was my life. And
what was your job?
I was working at the office. I was working at the order bank. At some point during this time, I started working for their real estate office.
So that's what your first job was when you were 14?
No, my first job, actually, I think I was between 13 and 14. I was actually a janitor at the school.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved over to the office doing, like, balancing checks and things like that. And then from there, I went to the Arrow Real Estate, doing, like, preparing, making sure people are ready to buy a house. And then from there, after I got married, I got to work at Standard doing their marketing.
So you're working, you're doing school, and the wedding is 100% your responsibility.
Yes.
That is insane.
And so all this pressure is put on me, and people are pressuring me to just get it done. Like, it's time to get married, And so we get married, we have our wedding day. I remember crying on my wedding day. Like,
why?
I was sad. I was like,
oh, this
does not feel right. This doesn't feel like what I want. This feels like what everyone else wants. I love my family so much that I will do this for them, but
okay.
I don't want to be there, and I look back on my wedding pictures and I'm like, man, I looked so sad and unhealthy and just like
you were under a lot of pressure before.
Yeah, and I was just overwhelmed, and so we get married.
So you feel kind of depressed on
yes,
your wedding
I am.
day.
Oh yeah, that's a really good way to put it. There were so many days where I went without food, and I didn't realize I was starving myself until I couldn't not eat, and this was happening throughout my entire marriage.
So you kind of went from a lover girl at 14 to a full-on stressed out mom at 15.
I was overwhelmed. And I'm like, imagine bringing a baby into this world where I don't even recognize myself anymore.
So you're still going to school, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to finish high school. This is very important to me. But I want to finish high school without being pregnant.
Yeah.
And I still have a year left. Because I graduated at 17, and so I'm like, okay, somehow I have to get through this last year without getting pregnant. And so...
So that was your thought?
Yes.
After you got married?
Yes. And so that's something I told him immediately.
Do you move right out of your...
Yes, I move into his mom's house.
Where?
In Murray.
Well, I mean, into his room or what?
Yes, into his bedroom.
This kid.
And so
that's the problem here, though, is he needed to get out and figure out a house.
No, he was just like, okay, yeah, come live with me now. And now he just has a wife that lives with him. So nothing really changed for him.
Yeah,
you know,
he didn't
besides
have to do anything.
No, nothing, you know.
Probably asked his dad for some money.
Oh my God, yeah. He had a credit card in his name that was from, I think it was, oh my God. He was so proud of this credit card because it meant he had money. But he was like, it was like a credit card from his brother's bank account. It wasn't his responsibility.
That's his problem.
None of this was laid on him.
He didn't have to do anything.
No, he didn't have any responsibilities. And when he did, like, by the time we were married, I didn't realize that they expected me to do his laundry for him. And I got pulled aside by the leader of the order, his dad.
Really?
Saying, you know, when I first got married, Patty did all of my laundry, and it was just so nice because I came home and there was just clothes ready for me, and it made me love her so much more. And I think that would be a good thing for you to start doing. And I was like, are you kidding me? He told on me for not doing his laundry. Because I remember it being a point of contention for us, because I told him, I was like, Dan, if you don't already know how to do your own fucking laundry, I'm not going to do it for you. Because you're 18 years old, now 19, and you still don't know how to fold your own clothes. And I thought it was ridiculous. Just so many things about the way he grew up. He was just so coddled. Just by his mom. And I mean, he was the youngest of 18 too, and so she kind of just let it slide. But
so Paul, who's supposed to be giving people revelation and
oh
whatnot.
Yeah, his revelation was that I needed to do his laundry.
Got it.
It also didn't help that I lived in Paul's first wife's home. So I saw him. You know, I saw him more than most people did.
And that's one of the things about getting close to those leaders. You stop seeing the magnanimous, crazy God person, and you start seeing a normal human that needs their laundry done.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, he has to be messed up in his brain with that kind of treatment.
I don't think he even believes in what he teaches anymore. I think he sees the money and then nothing else. You know?
Having a bunch of 30 wives and all the families treat you like that.
Oh my God.
That messes with your brain.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't tell me that person is not like super.
The most narcissistic man you've ever met is probably leading the order. Like, if everyone told you like that you are this God's chosen prophet, that would fuck up your brain.
It would, and then having everybody treat you that way and give you
reinforcing
anything you want,
that idea,
mess you up.
Yes, and so
that's how my dad was.
Yep, and that's the question though, because at some point, whose fault is it? You know?
I know.
Whose fault is it that you ended up the way you are? Is it your own for believing it, or is it everyone else for reinforcing it?
Well, it's partially both, I think, but at the end of the day, every individual has to fend for their own brain, their own freedom of their own mind, and those people, it's no service to them. Like, I would hate to be in that position because I know I would feed into that and probably become this arrogant whatever.
Oh my God, yeah.
And like, to me, that is a bondage of their own mind being in that situation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's very important. Something that Jordan Peterson always says is you need to get out from under your father's wing. At some point, every single man needs to go on his own adventure. And in order, like, that alone is what makes you a man. And you are not a man unless you have reasons to back up why you're doing what you're doing, you know, and you're not, Like, and that's the thing. Paul just followed his father. My dad just did whatever his dad told him to do. Looking at it now, every single boy that I know from the order, they're just doing what their dads tell them to do, and that they have no free will at all.
They have no life adventure.
No.
They have no struggle with meaning ever.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what your old husband problem was. He had never faced the world. He had never been on an adventure. He had maybe he wasn't that bad of a kid if he went and faced the world, if he went and earned his way, if he went and figured things out, you know. And that's one of the, like, I love Jordan Peterson's talks about this. I would go to him when I was trying to figure out my way out of the FLDS, and hearing him say, like, you have to leave your father and go and face life. It became, I'm scared that I'm doing something wicked, to this is what I have to do if I want to be a good person.
You have to reframe it because it's necessary, especially for men.
Yeah, I would agree.
And the fact that I had to do that as a woman, I had to leave on my own because I got really into him when I started leaving. And that's actually, he helped me so much to say, okay, it is not a bad thing that I want to figure out things for myself. It's not a bad thing. And if at the end of all of this, I still think the order's right, I can go back. I can. And it's okay. Maybe there'll be a couple of kids that I didn't have during that time. But you know what? That's the price I have to pay to know that this is the place for me. And so that's why I didn't feel bad leaving. Because I'm like, this is just the path I have to take.
Okay, so Paul tells you to do his laundry. You're living in a room in their house. Do you do his laundry, or?
I started. Okay. I had to because the leader told me to.
I know. Okay, so now you're doing laundry on top of school and everything.
And I'm not only am I in school, but I'm in college courses. So it's like high school, and I almost graduated with my associate's degree. Like, I was on top of it, and I had plans to go to college. I wanted to get a degree. I wanted to be this powerful woman. And once I met him, it wanted me to be stronger even more, because I knew he would never be someone to lead me, and to lead me into the places that I wanted to go. Because
he wasn't near as ambitious or doing the things that you were doing.
No, he didn't have any of that. None of those qualities. And so I was like, okay, I guess I have to step up and be the man. And I had told him that so many times. I said, Dan, because he would come to me and be like, Jana, I don't feel loved by you. Like, I don't feel like you love me. I don't feel like you like me. And I'm like, you know what? You are exactly right.
Did you ever move?
We did move. And so I lived at his mom's for about 1.5 years. And then my sister had an apartment beneath her house. So I moved into there.
Okay, I messed up what you were saying before.
It's okay.
You were saying you're exactly right. Did you actually have that conversation?
I did. I was very honest with him. I told him so many times that I don't see him as a man. And I don't see him as anyone who could ever take me anywhere. And I'm like, Dan, I need you to be someone I can rely on. And right now you are not that person. And I was mean to him about it. I'm like, you need to grow a pair. Like, I would literally tell him that anytime he had a conversation with me about how unloved he feels, I'm like, rightly so. Because what have you done to make me love you? Nothing. You haven't shown me any of the traits that make me love and respect my dad, my older brothers, people I know I can count on to be there for me and to help me out if I'm ever in a situation, And it was so demasculating for him, where I was hurting his ego because his ego was up here his whole life, And I was slowly chipping away at it. And I got in so much trouble for that because he would go and tell his mom. His mom would go and tell my dad. And then my dad would come and tell me and be like, "You are the meanest wife. I cannot believe you said that to him. Why did you say that to him?" And I'm like, "Dad, it's true. Don't you understand?" And there were so many, like, my sisters would even come to me and they'd be like, "Jana, I understand what you're going through because I went through the same thing." Like, they've all married his brothers and they were all idiots. Now, my dad was like, "Jana," at a certain point, my dad was like, "Jana, you're just picking on him because you can talk faster than him and you can connect things faster than him and you're just bullying him." And I'm like, why doesn't he respond? Like, he should be able, like, if I'm giving him shit, he shouldn't just take offense. Like, it couldn't be a back and forth. You know that, right? You don't have to take offense to everything. Anyways, I was totally a mean wife. I was kind of rude. But turns out that actually made him fall very deep in love with me.
Really?
I didn't know that. But when Catherine came along, so he gets married again. So before I move into my sister's basement apartment, he gets married the second time. And I'm like overjoyed.
You are?
I am so glad that he's going to be gone.
You said that you wanted to make sure you didn't get pregnant.
Yes.
So does that mean not have sex?
So that's the case. So even the night of our wedding, I'm like, "I don't want to have sex with you." And so I kind of gave him excuses. I'm like, "Well, I hear that it hurts," and I had already known about sex because I'm online, chronically online. So I know everything that's going to happen. And so I'm like kind of telling him things. I'm like, I'll get him excited and then leave him on a hanger, like, "Oh, just you wait, one day it'll be amazing," like just kind of totally getting his hopes up. And then he goes and does his thing, in the bathroom, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got away with it today. Great." And I think making him wait for so long, I think I made him wait for a good 3 months before we ever had sex in our marriage. But that first night, that was the first time I had to say no to him. And it felt weird to me. Like, there was a part of me that I'm like, "I don't know you,
Yeah.
I don't know what your hands feel like. I don't know even what it feels like to sleep next to you. Like, this is all new for me. I want to take it more slow than we are." And
yeah, I mean, you're just 16.
yes,
so.
But then eventually he starts getting more touchy-feely, and he's like, "Well, Jana, you know that we have to do this, right? Because, like, 3 months in, I'm saying no. But he's like, "You can't keep saying no. Like, tell me why you're saying no." And I'm like, "Well, I just really don't want to be pregnant in high school. I don't want to have to deal with that." The next day, he would come back to me with the rebuttal. And so I
think it through, huh?
I realized that what he was doing was he would tell his mom what I said, and his mom would tell him what to say to me next. And so we had this long argument throughout like months, but it was just like his mom. It was essentially him and his mom and me arguing because he was just saying whatever she said. And so
that dude needed to get away from his mom.
No, he never did. He stayed at her house because when he got married to the second girl, they moved into the same room I was in.
Oh,
so he never left his mom's house.
Gotcha.
Ever. And so then he gets married again. I'm overjoyed because now I have every other night without him. And so at this point, I start really ramping up my ideas about leaving the order. I'm like, I got to do something about this. Like, I can't live like this for the rest of my life. I've seen how my sisters live. They raise their kids on their own. Hell, one of my sisters has 19 kids right now on her own.
God.
And then not only that, but her husband also married another one of my sisters. So together, I think he's got like 40 children with just those two women.
Whoa.
Almost 40. I think maybe it might be 35. But I knew that was my life. I knew my life played out 6 times. I had 6 sisters, and I would be the 7th. You know, that's just who I was going to be. And
you
I didn't
could
want
just see
that.
exactly.
Exactly. And growing up, since I was the youngest, I was always the babysitter to my sister's kids. And I would hear my sisters crying at nights because their husbands would forget their birthdays. They would forget their wedding anniversary. They would forget their kids' names, their kids' birthdays.
Really?
Like, they didn't, none of that mattered to their husbands. And it was so sad to watch my sisters go through that.
And then you met this kid and you're like, same deal.
I know, same thing, same man, just 10 years younger, you know?
Yeah. And
so I start really thinking about leaving at this point.
Is this 3 months in?
This is by, I would say, about a year in.
Okay.
To the marriage.
Okay, but you still didn't have any kids or hadn't got pregnant, right?
No, because he would, 3 months in, we got away with no sex, but at that point, 3 months in, he finally, really,
kind of made it happen.
Yeah, he made it happen so that he could go back and tell his mom that it finally happened, type of thing. Because, but by the, and that started happening, but I would always push him off of me before it got too serious. And then I would finish him off to make him happy, to make him happy so that I didn't have to worry about anything. And at this point, I'm like,
too much internet.
Yeah. I'm like, I started seeing these ads on Instagram about birth control, and I'm like, what? I don't have to go to a doctor to get birth control? So I start buying this birth control online.
Really?
And about a year into our marriage, I'm taking birth control.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't know. It was something that I kept very close to my chest. And so he gets married a second time. I moved to my sister's apartment. By the time I'm there, I'm making plans to leave. I'm ready to go. And then he gets married again, but he gets engaged to Catherine. And
what did you think about
oh my God, I knew exactly what was happening because I knew she was rebellious. I knew that she was a very free spirit, which was very dangerous in the order. She was very outgoing and had a lot of personality.
Still is.
Yeah, and that's actually a red flag for order members, because when they have too much self-esteem, then at some point they're going to want to do things, outside of the norm. And explore things that maybe, and so she comes to me one day, and she comes.
Catherine?
Yeah, Catherine comes to my apartment. This is before they're engaged.
This is Catherine Nichols.
Yeah.
If people don't know, we did a podcast with her. So.
She comes to me, I think it was the day they were going to get engaged or something. And she fought tooth and nail to just have me and her talking without Daniel there, my husband.
Oh, really? Because
he wanted to be in the room. He didn't want us to be alone together because he knew that I didn't like him, And so she was like, and so I told Dan, I was like, Dan, you step outside. You can step right outside the room. I'm going to close this door and we're going to talk for 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. And he did. He followed he let me do it.
You were kind of a boss woman, weren't you?
I wouldn't let him pull that stupid stuff on me. And so I finally got her alone in the room, and I'm like, because Dan's been telling me, I think Catherine's the one. Late at nights, he'll tell me,
oh, really?
I have direction on her. I think she's going to come forward on me, whatever.
That is weird.
So we're having a conversation, and she's like, so I think I want to marry Daniel. And I'm like, this guy? You want to marry him? Are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I know this is what I need to do. And I'm like, tell me why you want to marry him. Just tell me why.
But her dad was really pushing her, right?
Yeah, I knew that she was under a lot. So I was trying to really get to the bottom of her soul and talk to, Catherine and not talk to the Catherine that everyone wanted her to be. Because I knew the position she was in.
Just like we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Everybody has a side who they really are.
Yes.
And a side who they're showing everybody.
And I didn't know how to talk to that version of her. I was trying so hard to get her to really, but 5 minutes is not enough time, you know, to get down to having a real conversation with anybody. And so I'm like, I'm trying my hardest. I'm like, what do you really want? I said, what do you really want? And she got a little bit vulnerable with me. She said, well, I really want a phone and I really want a car. And I just want to get out of my mom's house. And I'm like, I don't blame you because I did the same thing. I don't blame you for a second. And so I let her go and I said, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. Go marry him, but I hope one day, like, you'll realize that this is not what you wanted it to be. And it's so funny because now when I talk to her, she remembers that conversation clear as day. And she's like, you knew, Jana, you knew exactly what I was going to do. And I'm like, I didn't know you were going to leave him, but I guess it was good that we had that little moment together because she ended up leaving him. But probably 3 to 6 months after that conversation with her, Daniel's coming over once every 2 days. And so I had a lot of time by myself. I wasn't prepared to leave quite yet because I wasn't 18. But right before I turned 18, Daniel found the birth control.
Oh.
That I was taking. Because at this point, I had let him just have his way with me.
Were you guys legally married?
No.
Oh, okay.
We weren't. And I think the reason why it wasn't pushed on me as hard is because they knew Catherine was coming.
Oh.
And they knew that she had to get legally married because she was his niece. And they knew that if they didn't get her married at 16, she would have left. And so they didn't have us get legally married so that it would, you know.
Why do they have to get legally married?
Because she's underage. And he's, 20 at this point? And she's 16.
How do you get legally married?
I don't know. Somehow they found a law somewhere in, like, the upper part of America, like Maine or something, Rhode Island, that, for religious reasons, you can marry a relative, whatever. So he finds the birth control. Mind you, this is 2 years with him, and I haven't had a child. People are losing their minds. They're like, you're 18, you've been married for 2 years, you still don't have a kid? What do you mean? Like, this isn't heard of. You're crazy. And I'm being like, it's to the point where I'm going to the OBGYN, getting my ovaries checked to make sure I'm not infertile. Like they're trying to figure out if there's a medical condition or and it's,
they want you having a kid.
Yeah, they were so concerned because I have a sister who had fertility problems and she didn't have her first kid till she was like 24. So I was going to the doctor and doing all these tests, and eventually they were like, okay, we need to start doing blood tests, figure out like if it's because you're malnourished. Mind you, at this point, I'm like depressed. I'm underweight. I'm probably 70, 80 pounds. Like I don't, skin and bones.
Yeah.
It got to the point where like I was cutting myself.
What?
I was out of it. Like I had no reason to live because my life was just working, coming home, getting raped, going back to work. Sometimes I'll have fun with my family, but like other than that, it was just, and I knew I didn't want to be there. I knew it, but I was so scared to leave. I was so scared of losing my family. I was so scared of losing everything I've ever known. I'm like, leaving was just this big, scary thing that I didn't ever want to happen, but I knew it had to happen.
So, about a year in, you get more depressed?
Yeah.
Is this because he was... Well, you told me before that you kept saying no to sex. Mm-hmm. So are you saying like the first time it wasn't really consensual?
Yeah.
It was more just like a forced.
Yeah, it was like, we have to do this. And I was like, I can't say no, because if I say no, it's going to happen the next day, you know? And
then are you saying like a year later, it was just still just forced?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you said raped.
Yeah.
And that's why part of why you were so
I never
depressed.
wanted it. No, I never did. So, and it really put me in a bad place, because I felt like I was just being used. I felt like I was just this thing that he needed to get done. And I was just another, surrogate for him.
Can you describe like the depression a little bit more?
Yeah, so...
in that time when
Yeah.
you were, before you left, but basically it's what pushed you to leave. That's why I'm asking about it.
I felt like no one really knew me. No one saw me. No one cared about me. And what was the scariest part about all of it was that I stopped caring about myself. And I was like, okay, this is not me. Like, I'm gone. The girl that was here before, she's gone, because I don't care about anything. I don't care about how people see me. I don't care. I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going to wear this thick eyeliner. Like, I don't care about anything. I have nothing to live for. And I have no friends at this point. I'm very isolated. And it was really hard for me to understand, like, even just a conversation with anyone. My thoughts were jumbled. It was like I was dissociating so much to where I was just kind of controlling this avatar of a person. And it got to the point where I would, the days I knew he was coming home, I finally had my car, so I would be out late, looking for places to end my life.
Really?
And he would be calling me every night, like calling me constantly, like, where are you? What are you doing? Yeah, like it got to a point where there were times where I would stand above a bridge, like just stand there and wait for myself to finally jump. And it was so bad, because I knew that by the time I get home, he's going to be there waiting for me, and so, yeah, one night he like 1 a.m, I'm asleep next to him, and I wake up and he is holding my backpack that was in my car that I keep locked, because that's where I keep my birth control.
Oh.
And I wake up to him holding up my backpack with the birth control in his hand, saying, "What's this?" And somehow I knew that he knew what it was. I don't know how I knew, but I knew that he knew. And
Yeah.
I run. I take my keys, I grab the birth control, and I run to my car, and I start driving away. But he, like, holds the door open, and he's like, "What are these, Jana? Tell me what they are. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth." And I'm like, I can't, because, like, this is terrifying. I'm scared of you. I am terrified of you taking me and just kind of locking me up the rest of my life. Like, if these are the only thing that is getting me through right now, and making sure I'm not locked with you forever. And so,
did you know that they thought it was evil, right?
yeah, I knew it was against the rules.
But more than just against the rules. It was a big deal, apparently.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm the devil. Like, there's the devil inside
I
of me.
understand how big of a deal
Yeah.
that is. I don't think most people do,
No,
but I do.
it was a problem. And it not only was it that I was taking birth control, it was that I was denying the order children. And I was actively stopping him from having kids.
Yeah.
But something in me was like, I can't bring a kid into this world. Not right now.
Yeah, this is something you really thought about.
I did. I was all the time. It was on my mind. I was like, I can't do it. I cannot end up like my sisters. I know there's something more for me, and I want to have kids when I feel ready, and I don't feel ready. After that, it was like hell for the next few days. My dad takes my phone, my car, and I'm sleeping on the floor for the next week or so, just kind of locked in this room with my dad. And I'm crying, and I have this big hoodie on, and I don't want to be seen. Like, I just want to die. And I was terrified that my dad would finally see the real me.
Okay.
You know? So we have this conversation. My dad's like, what's going on? I tell him I want to leave the order, and I don't want to be with Daniel. They float this idea around that I can marry someone else, and I don't ever have to see Daniel again. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I want to take you up on that. So how about you don't let Daniel come to my house for 6 months while I figure out what the hell I'm going to do. And they did. They let me do that. So
really?
he didn't come over. He stayed with the other wives, and I went back home after like the repentance process and, you know, telling the leader of the order why I'm a bad person. And
but was that a serious process for you?
It was bad, because this was the first time I've actually seen Brother Paul so close and angry.
Okay.
Because he was furious. He was yelling at me. But I've never, ever, ever seen Brother Paul like that. But he was like so mad at me for not only not having kids, but also so many people were starting to hate Daniel. And he heard it. And he was like, you're ruining my son. Like, my son is so great, and you're the reason that everyone doesn't like him right now. And I'm like, for a good reason. Like, he's an idiot. Like, it's not just me. Everyone else sees it. But sorry, I'm talking a lot.
Oh, good. That's what we're here for.
Okay, I'm just like blurting it out.
I'm loving it.
Anyways, and my dad was there for the meetings, and my dad was just like, I can't believe this is my daughter. Like, he didn't ever know this about me. And he's seeing now this person. And so my dad started yelling at me too, like started really getting mad at me. And I'd never seen this side of my dad. And so I'm like, okay, so this version of a man who will love me and take care of me, this is never real. Like, everything that I've ever wanted from the men in the order just shattered right then. I'm like, they have their faults, and they aren't this superhuman, you know, entity that will always know the right thing. And so I think that's what enabled me to leave. Like, that was all I needed to go, because they were not taking care of me, and they were not listening to me, and they weren't there to protect me. They were there to protect the order. And so I'm like, okay, I have no one. I am truly alone, because the one person I thought would be on my side was my dad, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, your image of him was shattered,
Yep.
and his image of you was shattered.
Yeah.
You guys finally saw the other sides of each other.
Yeah. So I start making my plans to leave. I reach out to my older brother who left. And one day, I pack up everything while everyone's at church. I had about an hour to do it, and pack up everything and just leave, move into his house. And I start, that was it. And I was out. I was done. And now I'm here. So that's what's the, I don't know what else to say. But
Oh, yeah. So how did it feel like when you were packing up?
I was so ready to be done. I was so ready. I was ready to get out of there. It was like, this was my jail and I was breaking out.
Uh-huh.
And I felt so empowered, but I was scared. I was really
Oh,
scared.
yeah, I believe
I was
it.
terrified. I was like, I'm going to lose everyone. I'm going to lose everything. I already know that I am. But not only that, like people have already started saying, I don't want you around my kids. I don't want you coming to family parties because you bring the spirit of the devil with you. Like you're going to teach my kids bad things, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, they're already distancing from me because they know that it's going to happen. So I'm just going to make it happen.
Yeah. That's insane. I cannot believe that you got away without a kid.
It was
You're
crazy.
lucky.
It was crazy. And I
Good on you.
Fully, it was the internet.
Uh-huh.
Like that saved my life.
Yeah.
Because if those ads didn't start popping up for me, I would have not.
Uh-huh.
Totally. Because I am, yeah.
Well, you were smart about it. You could see what was coming.
Yes.
And a lot of girls can't. They just want to get their first kid, and from there...
I mean, they make it sound so exciting. And so,
Yeah.
like, this is the best thing that's ever going to happen to you when you get married. But it's like, once you destigmatize that, you really see what it's about. And it's like, it's not everything you've ever wanted. It's not. And it never will be. Honestly, nothing will ever be as exciting
as it sounds.
ever. And you just have to come to terms with that and then start looking at things as they are.
Uh-huh.
Marriage is kind of crazy, especially when you're 16. Okay, you don't know yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you want. Your brain isn't even fully developed for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, what if you, think about it. In 5-10 years, who are you going to be? You don't know. There's no way you know. So why would you deny yourself that journey of figuring yourself out? And then not only that, but now you're bringing kids into that while you're still exploring.
So what does your father think about you now?
He thinks that I am, gosh, I would love to know, actually, but I
They feel like that you made some bad decisions,
Yeah.
and they're suffering the consequences.
I
Probably.
think they think that one day I'll be back.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be back.
I don't think I will. I know that they actually do because there's been so many times where family will reach out to me. I think that was the hardest thing about leaving, was leaving those kids behind that I raised.
Yeah. Do you ever feel a little bit depressed about where you came from and almost wish like you had parts of it back and think about it? And do you think that sometimes plays into them thinking that you might come back sometime?
Yeah. There are a lot of times where I will make friends out here and they talk about, their family and their mom and their dad, and they're still close to their mom, and they'll call their mom if they have something come up. And I'm like, I really wish I had a mom and a dad who truly loved me enough to watch me go through life and just stick by me. But I'll never get to have that. And sometimes when you meet new people on the outside, there's also like, they put you in a box of, okay, you grew up abnormal than most people. So you probably have something wrong with you. And so we're going to favor other people who grew up normally versus you, because we know that you're going to come with issues. Like even there's a certain level of, which isn't, I guess that's not always true, because people who've gone through something, they usually have the traits to get through hard stuff.
I know, but people don't see that. I don't know why. Like for me,
Yes.
I could not get the same pay for the other people were getting when I was probably better at it.
Yes.
I couldn't. I just really struggled to, find a position where somebody either didn't think I was weird or special.
Yes.
They either thought I was special or thought I was weird. and they just were unwilling to just kind of let me be me.
Yep.
And that's why I, started my own construction business, because I couldn't get people to trust me.
Yeah.
When I could probably do a better job than most people.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go and do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so I totally feel what you mean by
Yeah.
I would say add to that, they're all really capable. A lot of people from the FLDS are the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about that moment you talked about for you when you realized I don't have any friends. And I would say for me, that was one of my darkest, hard moments.
Nobody sees you.
Yeah, it's I have to figure this out on my own. And
no one's going to walk you through it.
If I do what they tell me to do, I'm going to be in a bad situation. If I try to explain it to them, I'm in a bad situation.
Yep.
Nobody outside understands.
Nope.
I am on my own. And when
It's
you realize...
terrifying.
It is.
Terrifying.
Emotionally, physically, mentally. And when you come to that, it's kind of if you can get through it.
Absolutely. That's the rock bottom.
Yeah, you're going to be able to do almost anything after.
Yes. Yeah. And that's being out here. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. I might be afraid of certain situations, certain people.
Sure.
But it's never going to be as scary as that. And that's kind of empowering.
Yeah, because you've already been by yourself on your own.
And had to go through it,
Yeah.
whether I liked it or not.
Yeah.
So now, even going back to school, I took a 4-year gap year. And I'm I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I can do it. I know I can. And I know that this is what I need to do and I want to do. And I want to get a degree. I want to get an education. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it. I have no idea if I'm even going to have the smarts to do it anymore. But I know I can. It's something in me is I know I can do it. And I'm doing it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you can kind of define how somebody's doing by how often they might kind of break down.
Yeah.
But when they're by themselves, right? Nobody else is going to know.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, do you kind of have to reconsider and think about things and...
Well, I think right now I'm still in a little bit of a survival mode. Because I've been keeping myself very, very busy.
Okay.
And I don't have a lot of downtime. I'm working almost full time and I'm doing full time school. And then I have a dog and then I have a relationship and then I have it's there's so many other things to focus on besides how am I doing?
Yeah.
And I go to the gym. And so if there is a moment where I'm I really need to think through something, it's usually when I'm running on the treadmill.
Okay.
Which is maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's been good.
Do you think part of that staying so busy is avoidance?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it stems from having so much of my life having to hide who I really am from everyone that I've ever loved for so long that it became the normal. And it was almost like it was scary or it was threatening my well-being if I was, if I was truly myself around people, it would never be accepted.
Yeah.
And so I coped with that by being avoidant and just doing what I was told and being a people pleaser and saying the right things and then doing something different later on.
Yeah, I totally see that. For me, I will work really hard and then I'll be I need a break. I'll finally get one.
Yeah.
And I'll go into some sort of weird, mad depression.
You get into it.
And I just can't do it. So I go back to being busier than I can handle. And then, it's one or the other.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of times.
It's hard to relax.
Yeah.
Really hard to relax.
It's hard to relax without getting into some sort of depression.
Absolutely.
And then when you're really busy, you're kind of like, when am I going to get a break?
I know, but it's like then you're in the break and it's like, I don't want to be here.
Exactly. Right.
This is kind of boring.
So do you see yourself as being able to get past like being so busy and having more time to yourself, or do you think you'll kind of always be that way?
I really hope that one day I can sit down and dissect my past, but I don't think that day's today. I don't think I even should be focusing on that right now. I think I'm in such a critical part of my life where I'm setting my future right now. Like if I don't get this degree, I probably won't ever get it. So now's my one chance to do it. It's been very important for me, at least to myself, to give myself some grace and say it's okay. It's okay to be in your lonely chapter right now. Like you are on your own, and that's okay. And you don't have to be helping on anybody but yourself. You don't have to be worried about what's happening over there. Just focus on right now and what's going on, and get yourself through the next few years, and then you can really think about, who am I? What do I want? And I think so much of like that question of who am I and what do I want, you learn through action. You don't learn through contemplation. You learn who you are because of the things that you can do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
At least that's just me.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a point. I really don't know either. Like, how do you figure out who you become? Well, if you just sit there and think about it,
then you're never going to become anything.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know the answer.
I wish
to that other than
I wish there was a God speaking in my ear telling me.
For me, it's kind of the same. Like, I have to get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only next step I know to do.
Yeah. The only thing I can do right now is to do something.
What do you think about therapy?
Well, recently, like very recently, someone asked me if I'm in therapy. And I took great offense to that. I'm like, excuse me. I think I'm doing just fine. But no, it wasn't like in a, okay, you're fucked up kind of way. It was just kind of like, I'm worried about you, you know. But I did therapy for about 2 years after I left. And it wasn't like getting to the bottom of anything like I wanted it to. It was more like I was learning how to be human and how to feel things again. And it was more like the therapy that I took got me out of depression. Okay. And it got me to shift my mind back into my body because I was so out of it that it was like I needed time for someone to help me come back to myself. You were kind of still that person that was just when I left, running an avatar, going to work. Yeah. And so I'm really glad I went through therapy to finally feel again, and have hope for the future and realize that this isn't the end of my life. It might just be the beginning. Yeah. So you don't do therapy anymore? Not anymore. I don't have time for therapy. It's okay. Yeah. No, I really struggle with therapists because whenever I sit down with them, I feel like I comprehend the situation at a way bigger view than they do. Oh, absolutely. And I'm like they don't ever get the full picture. They don't understand you or the magnitude of some of the things you're saying. Yeah, and so a lot of times halfway through, I'll be like starting to feel like answering their questions, trying to help them understand. I start feeling like their therapist. Yep. And by the time I'm done, I'm their therapist. And I'm like, that was a waste of time. Yeah. Yeah, and I have never met somebody that wasn't a therapist. I've met people that helped me
understand different points of view. I would rather sit with somebody and talk about this certain situation as a person and how to deal with these different things.
Let's connect as humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
And I think that having friends and having a close support system, it will do you so much more good than any therapist ever could. And having people to support you and listen to you, tell the exact same story over and over and over again until you're done telling it, that's therapy right there. And I think that that's such a hard thing, especially when I left. You don't have friends. You don't have anyone who's willing to sit with you and just sit in it and not try to solve it, but just sit with it and say, how are you feeling? It's okay that you're feeling that way, and we don't have to get to the bottom of it today, maybe for another 20 years, unless it's really hurting you, but I've found that the people that I've surrounded myself with, mostly older women who have gone through something, or I've made really close friends with some of my coworkers and their moms who lived normal lives. I mean, no one's really lived a normal life, but they've had, their parents, and they have their kids, and they have a support system themselves, and they're healthy people. And they have helped me so much learn about the world and learn about, and it's not that we're getting in these really deep conversations either. It's just that we're talking about normal life, oftentimes about boys. And it's like, I'll tell them about my relationships that I'm going through, or like friends I'm making at college, and they'll be like, oh, this and this and this. And it's not that we're having like a normal human conversation, but it's healing me too. It's like, wow, I can be normal. I can be human too with you. And it's not that I'm this broken piece of glass anymore. I'm putting myself back together through these conversations with you. And we're not even touching the surface of what I've gone through, and I kind of love that.
Yeah.
So
you feel like you're getting your identity shifted.
Yeah.
To more confidence and more value.
Absolutely.
Slowly. For me, therapy, if it's something like, what are you going to do and what goals are you trying to reach? To me, that's better therapy than anything else that's
let's
worked.
focus on what we can change.
Yeah.
And, it's never, to me at least, it's not helpful to focus on the past, ever. It's good to acknowledge it and to accept it, but trying to understand why or whose fault it is, or it's never going to be, it's never going to give you the answers.
Yeah.
Ever.
Do you think that some of your sisters who have kids or more Kingston people will start leaving, or not really?
That's a really hard question, because I don't think they'll ever leave until they are being forced to leave. Until something huge happens. They might have their individual thoughts, but to a certain extent, they rely so much on the system to where the only way they would ever leave is if the system was broken.
Yeah, it seems to me like you were saying, you didn't even want to live.
No.
It seems like people almost have to get to that point before they're like, okay, maybe we should try something else, because I don't give a shit now. And I'm going to look at any other. It
has to be so unsafe to stay in order for you to find something else. Because if it's not safe, your body is going to obviously try to crave something else. But they're towing the line so well with so many of these mothers to where, yes, I can't afford food for my kids. Yes, I can't even afford a new house. Yes, I have 8 children in 1 bedroom. But it's okay just enough to where we're getting through. Somehow we're making it through. And that's okay. But by the time it gets to the point where something gnarly happens, that's when they'll finally say, okay, this is crazy. This is a little bit too crazy, but you have to be pushed over the edge. And none of them have yet. Because the order has too much. The order will give you just enough to stay. Like if you need something, it's so funny because I joke about it all the time with my friends about the minute you're about to leave the order is when you get a wife. And all you order people watching, that is absolutely true. Because watch it. Anytime someone's about to leave, that's when they're awarded a wife. At least for the men.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of order people watch these?
Oh my God. I think it's majority order people.
It seems like the videos I make with order people get quite a few views.
Ordered people watch everything.
Do they?
Yeah, they know. They know. I think they just want to know, like,
they're curious.
What's about to happen. But there's so many pussy men in there. They know it's wrong. They know, but there's just something in them that does not want to go against their fathers. And I will agree, it is really hard to stand up to your father. And that's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do as a man. But by God, if I can do it as a 18-year-old woman, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. Why do you think so many of the men there are basically, they don't care about, for one, they don't care about their families. They really don't. Those guys don't give a shit.
I think
about
they would
their
like
family.
to. In an ideal world, they would love to care. But I've seen some families out here where the father is really engaged, and I've never seen that in the order, ever. And it's not that, I think they would like to, and I think they think that they are being good dads, but they're really not. And they know. They've got to know. But again, like, they're so busy too. You know, you have a kid, you have a child's birthday every single week, and you have to start, like, there's always something happening to where even just trying to sit down and, how is my family doing? Or what should we do different? You don't get a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
So.
What do you say to the order people that are watching? Like.
Think for yourself.
Yeah.
God. Just have a thought. I know it's hard to get a minute, and I know, I even struggle with it, like to sit down and have a second to myself, but understanding that even the people that you look up to, they're human, and no one's as good as they make themselves out to be. But it's really convincing.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about this a lot, and it's like, if someone came after you, like in a creepy situation with a knife, you'd be scared as ever.
Yeah.
But most people, if their mind is completely controlled and they can't even use the God-given abilities they have to question things and think about things, then like that is, it really is having somebody else control your mind when you think that you're making all your decisions. It has got to be one of the most terrifying things on earth. Like,
yeah,
it
is scary. It is really scary to not have someone telling you what to do.
Yeah,
it is terrifying.
Yeah, but it's also like the benefit that we have going through our experiences is a mind that thinks.
Yes.
That's the benefit. And
that is the natural way humans live. Humans should have a mind that thinks.
Yeah.
That's what's led us to survive for so long. And if someone is denying you your right to have your own thoughts and be your own person, maybe you should question that.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I know, they all think they have their own.
Right.
They think they have their freedom of choice, and they think that they're free, but you're not. Until you have experienced what it's actually like to be a free thinker, you'll never ever be free.
Yeah, until you can question some of the ideas that are super repulsive to you.
Yes.
Then you're not a free person.
Yep. But when you can't question them, that's when the problems start coming.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention to that, because your intuition is stronger than anything. And it's whatever you want to call it, the still small voice, the Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call it. It is you speaking to yourself saying, that doesn't quite add up. Let me explore that more. And if someone ever shoots you down, when you have questions, if they shoot you down, maybe you should dig even deeper.
100%.
Because that's a tell right there. That there's something that they don't want you to figure out. And you guys see it with the government. You guys will go all day about how the Democrats are hiding things. It's the same thing in the order.
You mean the Kingstons will talk about...
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The FLDS will too.
They'll say it, but it's like you won't even question your own. Like, when it's too close to home is when you get uncomfortable. But when it's like big out in the whole United States, oh yeah, let's question it and let's dig deeper. But
yeah, the FLDS, we'll talk about the Kingstons and how weird you guys are, and
we do the same thing,
and how you guys do whatever your leader wants. And here we are, like, we're perfect. It's like we're doing the same thing.
Your leader's in jail. Like,
I know.
what the hell? These guys are weird.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, anything else you want to say before we wrap up? Anything important we missed? Anything you feel like you want to get out to your family or the Kingston people, or just like let the world in general know like where to head in at, or anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think the only way to destroy the tyrant is to face the tyrant, or to even shed light that there is a tyrant and there is a problem, and to finally acknowledge the problem is one step closer to solving the problem. And I hope that all the people in the order understand that there is a problem. And I know about half of you know that there is a problem there. And the other half that don't want to see it, you are the problem.
Yeah.
You are the reason. No, but I love my family very much, and I don't wish harm upon any of them. I just want them to be happy, and I don't want them to be controlled anymore. Whether they realize it or not, that's what's happening. And I know they've found light in their lives, and I know they've found reasons to be happy, but it sucks when you have to look really hard for those happy moments, So.
Wouldn't you agree that if somebody, like, they may have been abused or controlled or something, but like if they stay in that situation, a lot of times they become the tyrant. Like, they become the mom that's mean and abusive.
Absolutely.
They become the dad that's...
I've been thinking about this so much recently, because nothing changes if you don't change anything. You will become your father if you don't stand up to your father. And for my sisters, you will become mom. And I know how much you don't want to be like mom. But you aren't setting yourself up to be anything but mom. And I know you wish you want to be different, but you won't be different until you do something different. And to my brothers, same thing. I know how much you don't like Dad. I know it because you told me in those moments, in those late night talks that we had. I remember those moments, and you said how much you see the wrong in the order. But if you don't call it out, no one will. If you don't change it, no one's going to change it. It's not going to happen. And you're going to keep losing money, and they're going to keep getting richer with your money. And I really hope you guys are doing okay with the government shutdown. Like, all of you rely on the SNAP benefits, okay?
Do they? Oh, do they?
Every single family in there.
Oh, yeah.
They all rely on it.
They're all on
So,
child.
yeah, when I see the headlines about the government shutdown, I'm like, fuck. My family's not going to have any food. Like, none of my sisters are going to have, you know? Like, their kids are going to starve. And that's... Like, it makes it hard for me to watch the news because I'm like, I know so many people who rely on the government, but it's not in the way that, like, the government doesn't see the order people. They see, you know, the illegals taking advantage, and they see these problems with the system, but they don't see some of these smaller communities that are absolutely waste, fraud, and abuse. But like, it's not. I mean, they were born here, and they've somehow managed to play the system so much that.
Yeah, those Kingstons must use a lot of benefits.
You know
I
what?
mean, one mother
Can I
with.
tell you something?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to say too much, but hypothetically, a family with 17 children, you get tax benefits from each kid you have, yeah? Mm-hmm. What do you get, like $600 at the end of the year?
I think you get more like a couple thousand.
Yeah, per child.
Yeah.
Now imagine the amount of taxes this woman with 17 children. You could live off of that. You could live off of that.
Uh-huh.
Just that one payday from the government. You have 17 of those. Say even just $1,000. That's a new car right there.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's got to be $2,000 or more a month.
And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just saying they've figured out. I don't think that I really think that the children equals money to the order.
Huh.
And I think that's their biggest motivation.
Wow.
To having kids.
Well, I think they're going to have to start limiting the internet if they don't want. I mean, maybe they already have, but
I don't know how. I don't know how you could limit. Like. You know, they've. I think the internet's going to be their downfall. But that's just
probably
me.
will.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I think that their kids are smarter than they realize.
Kids are smart.
Kids are very smart, and you can't control kids for too long before they start getting angry.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Yeah.
Any last words to say before we wrap it up?
Mm-mm.
Thanks everybody for watching. If you want more podcasts like this, like, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Do you want to shout out any social or?
No.
Okay.
You can find me if you really want to, but I don't really post anything.
Yeah,
so.
okay. Well, everybody give a thumbs up for Jana's story. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
It helps all the other people that, might be in those situations. And thanks guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.